Peace, everyone. My name is Jasmine, and this is my journal. I know it's been probably a little minute before we recorded. I did record an episode on New Year's Eve, but I recorded it with my best friend, and she had maybe one too many drinks of wine, and she was name dropping. So I decided not to put the episode up because she said some things. Even though I be putting my business out there, I don't completely put my business out there. So I try not to put other people out there. And she was just name calling left and right. She had some choice words for some of my exes. So I said, you know what? We gonna X that episode out. So we didn't put it up. So this is gonna be my last episode for a little while. Not long. I have for one, I want to thank everybody for going on this journey with me. Y'all been with me through therapy. I've told y'all some of the deepest, darkest things about me that I've never told anybody. And my spirit is just wanting to move on from that. I just don't feel no need to talk about my aches and my pains and my heartbreaks no more. I feel better. So since I feel better, I just feel like they're no longer things that I want to hold on to. And it's funny because tonight is the night before the full moon. And I've been doing a full moon ritual. It's more of a detachment ritual that I do the day before, the day of, and the day after. So tonight was tonight I started. This will be my second month in a row doing these detachments, and I'm feeling better. So I am taking some time off to kind of re-look at my content and some things I want to talk about and people I want to talk to, but it won't be so much focused on all the negative stuff or whatnot. Just I don't know. I guess I'm gonna talk about what the hell I feel like, but I think I need to change the course of how this podcast is going to go. Again, I want to thank everyone that has supported me through this whole journey. To those folks out there that listen to every single episode and give me feedback about every single episode. Also, in my absence, I'm going to be working on I only got a few episodes uploaded to YouTube, but I have like over 50 episodes on Spotify. So I am working on transferring all of that software so I can upload it on the YouTube. So you guys have plenty of to listen to while I'm gone. Um, Today I want to talk about the Bekoach. So the Bekoach is an old Jewish spiritual prayer. They say it's the 42 names of Hashem. Um, It comprises of 7 lines of 6 words. Very powerful prayer. The first time I heard about the Anabacoic was, I'm sorry, the first time I heard about the Anabacoic was through Dr. Mitchell Gibson, a spiritual master teacher. He's world renowned. He's a brilliant man. I don't consider him directly my teacher, but he's my teacher's teacher. So he's kind of my teacher because he's my teacher. But that is one prayer that I learned. It is a divine prayer. It is extremely powerful. It is known to help raise your vibration and raise your energy from one divine plane to the next. It's just an amazing prayer. Um, in the description, I'm going to leave a few links. One link will be Master Gibson's rendition of it, and then another link I'm gonna leave another one where it's like a teachable version of it, so you'll have both. And I also put a link to somewhere where you can get the words if you want to learn the prayer. Quick story time. A few years back, my son, who was probably about maybe 14 or 15 at the time, he went to a sleepover. He's 18 now, and it was a snowstorm. I don't know why I let him go, but I let him go. So the snow starts coming down. And when I say the snow was coming down so heavy, you could not see what was in front of you. And it was piling up fast. So I get a phone call, and the boys whose house he was over, the boy's mother calls me and she cusses me out. She says, these boys was over here smoking weed. They had weed in my house. I want all of them out of my house right now. I was like, ma'am, it's a snowstorm. And she was just like, he can walk home. he got to get out my house. And I was like, man, please don't put my son out. I'm going to come pick him up. I don't want him walking home in the snow. Back then, where I lived at, it was like a really nice suburb, but there were no sidewalks. So if he walked home, he would have had to walk on the side of the road, and I was afraid that a car would slide into him. So I was like, no, I'm going to get my baby. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I got up, started my car, cleaned the snow on my car, and started the trip. Well, in order to get to where she lived at, and she didn't live far. If I would have drove on a regular day, it took it would have took 2 minutes. This trip took about 15 or 20 because of the snow. So there's like a small hill. In order to get to her house, I had to go down a small hill and then up a small hill. I made it down the hill fine, but when I went up the hill, my car wouldn't pull. I got almost up the hill and then I just started sliding back. I was sliding back so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, if somebody pulls out or pulls into the street, I'm going to hit them. That's how fast I was sliding down the street. So I turned around. I was able to like spin my car around and try to head back to my house, but I couldn't get back up the hill to my house. So I was like, well, let me try this one more time. Went up her hill again, and when I got almost up again, my car started sliding back. I was like, I gotta do something. So what I did was I just said a prayer and allowed my car to slide back. And as my car slid back, I looked behind me and I saw a little side road. And I said, I'm going to cut my wheel and just let my car glide into the side street. And that's exactly what happened. So I put my car in park and just sat there. Mind you, I am like a professional procrastinator. So my gas tank was on E. So my gas tank is on E. My gas light is on. My car is running. My heat's on. I'm like, and mind you, my gas tank was on E from earlier when I left work that day. So I was gonna run out of gas. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna run out of gas. Instantly, I started to say the Anna Bekoach. And I must have been in my car 30 minutes. I don't know how my car stayed running. It was a miracle. That's why they call it the miracle prayer. But I prayed for like 30 minutes. For those who live like in like rural areas or like suburbs where there's back streets and back divisions, we all know that that is the last place that salt trucks hit. They always get those main roads first. So I mean, I am just sitting here. I'm in tears. I'm afraid. I don't know how I'm gonna get home, and I'm just saying the Anabacoic over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I did not stop for 30 minutes straight. I was almost in a trance. Suddenly, I see a salt truck drive by on the main street. I was like, "Oh my, it's a salt truck." I missed it. So what I did was, Spirit told me. I just heard something was like, pull down, just let your car glide down to the corner because wasn't no driving. It said let your car glide down to the corner. So what I did was I put my car in neutral, held onto the wheel, and let it glide slowly down to the corner where the tow truck passed and put my car in park. As soon as I got to that corner, put my car in park, I saw another salt truck. I said tow truck. I meant salt truck. I saw another salt truck. Two salt trucks back to back, never seen on the back streets where I lived at, passed by. I instantly threw my car and drive and drove behind the salt truck. The whole time I'm saying the Anabacoic. So I make it up the hill on the way to my house. Now in my mind, I was like, I know they're not going to turn down my street because my street is was always done last. I've been in that house for years. My street was always done last. But there was like a church on the corner and it was a parking lot. So I said I could at least park in that parking lot and it'd be much easier for me to walk home because my street had sidewalks. I could just take my time and walk home and get in the house and I'll call this woman when I get in the house. Both tow trucks turned down my street. True story. I couldn't believe it, but I just stayed behind the tow trucks and they drove right on past my house and I was able to pull into my driveway. When I pulled into my driveway, I sat there and I kind of looked and I saw the trucks kind of bust a U-turn at the corner by my stop sign and drive back the opposite way. I had been in that house for years. Not one time has a salt truck ever hit my street like that. They don't do it. Our streets were always the last to be done. Our streets were so last to be done, like neighbors would get together and like shovel the sidewalks and driveways and stuff and just kind of help the roads just so that we can get out into the main roads to go to work. Like we would all pitch in and help. So to see that salt truck drive past two of them so I can hop behind them and make it home safely was nothing short of a miracle. And the next morning, I was able to get up and make it to the gas station to put gas in my car. When I got home, I called the woman and let her know what happened. Another miracle. She apologized to me and she said, "I'm so sorry." She said, "I found out that your son and it was another little boy there. They weren't even smoking. It was I think it was like a total of 4 or 5 boys. All the other boys they left. She let my son stay until I was able to get there. She apologized to me. She said, "I'm so sorry. I was just so upset because I felt like that was so disrespectful." And I understood her. And she was like, "He can stay. He was not one of the boys smoking." She said, actually, she admitted that it was her own son smoking, but my son and another little boy there, they didn't smoke. That they weren't the ones that were smoking. So she let my son stay until the next morning, and I was able to go and pick him up. I want to close this out just briefly to speak about the power of prayer and meditation. You hear a lot of spiritual people talk about meditation, 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 but you don't hear enough about prayer. And to me, I think that both are essential. I feel like I said spray, when we pray, we are speaking what we want, what we desire, what we need, or for a lot of us, we're speaking in advance what we are already to receive. So when I pray, I'm giving thanks for what's coming because it's done. So when I go into prayer and I say thank you for increasing my finances, thank you for bringing love into my life, thank you for whatever I desire. I'm thanking the universe in advance because it's already there. Prayer is about speaking words into power. Speaking, like even doing certain types of magic, there's certain forms of prayer that you can do. Prayer is about speaking, it's about communicating with a higher source. Meditation, even though we do communicate in those states, it's also about listening. You receive your messages during meditation. Perhaps your prayer is your request, and meditation is where you receive your answer. And it may not be like an answer where you hear somebody talking in your ear, but have you ever been meditating on something so long and then all of a sudden you just know you received your answer? Prayer and meditation. I would highly recommend that you incorporate a prayer and meditation routine every day. And you don't have to be religious to pray. Whatever you subscribe to, pray. Give thanks. Show gratitude. It's not even about asking for anything. Pray to yourself. Shit. Speak your appreciation and how grateful you are. Speak what's on your heart out loud. Prayer is just as important as meditation, in my opinion. Through prayer and meditation, you can program your body to heal. And that's how amazing our brains are. And you can look it up online, you can study it. There are so many studies where they study the brain of people that are in deep meditation, and they study the brain of people that are in deep prayer. And the brain is different than the regular brain that's completely active all the time. Those scans are showing different. For people that are in deep meditation, or people that are chanting and praying, like something in their frontal lobe changes. I could be wrong, but I think I don't read it enough to know. Like people who are in like deep prayer, or doing chanting, or mantras, something happens in the frontal lobe, which is responsible for speech and stuff like that. But for those that are in deep meditation, there's something going on more in the back part of your brain, and also like in the thalamus. So if you're deeply praying, and you're programming your brain, or your brain is programming you to program itself, and then you go into meditation, those key things can stimulate your body to start to heal itself. And it can heal itself from depression, any physical ailments, any other mental ailments like anxiety, chronic pain, diseases, anything like that. Your brain can program your body to start the process of healing itself. Quick disclaimer, I'm not ruling out any type of medical professional or anything like that. Hell, I work in the medical field. I'm always going to tell you to seek the help of a medical professional. But a lot of things can be helped through prayer and meditation. Hell, before I started praying and meditation, I suffered from depression horribly. I was able to wean myself off of medications. Daily prayer and meditation. I still have my moments and I still have my bouts of depression, but daily prayer and meditation has definitely helped me. Anyhow, I hope to be back soon. I would definitely miss you all. In my absence, please, prayer. I mean, I love you. Tell yourself you love yourself 11 times in the morning. Tell yourself you love yourself 11 times at night. Love on yourself. Take care of yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Hell, make love to yourself. But find time to pour into you. Peace.